Hello, we are ready to roll and talk about love is life insurance tonight. And today we're going to do a little bit differently than we normally do. We are going to tell stories of how people show their love through life insurance, through creating an estate plan, through doing all the things that we talk about, we've been talking about for almost a year online. And we also have some examples of some people who didn't take our advice and didn't get the things in place and what those results are. Because we realize that a lot of times we tell you a lot of facts and figures and important stuff about it, but we want to tell you some stories because we want you to really see and feel what it is that we're talking about so you know that it matters. So with that, we are the Millionaire Ladies Mob. We help create a lifetime income you can never outlive. We protect income. We eliminate debt. We create retirement streams and much, much more. I'm Saran. This is my girl, Aaliyah. Go ahead, Aaliyah. Say hi.
Hi, everybody.
This is my girl, Carmen. Say hi, Carmen.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Hey, Carmen. And Carmen, we're so excited you're here and back. And Aaliyah, I'm so glad you're here and back. I think this is the first time we've been back together since like November.
Yes.
We got a lot of stories for you today, right? And so we're going to tell you, give you some of the good and the not so good, right? And so I'm going to start off with a story about a young couple in Pennsylvania. They were clients of ours, clients of our company. And, a young couple in their 40s, 2 kids living in southern Pennsylvania, rural Pennsylvania. We happened upon them, put them into one of our beautiful programs. They were happily involved. They got a policy for $1 million for both parents, and they covered the children as well. Everybody was super healthy. They got the perfect rating. They didn't have to pay anything extra. Everything was perfect. Fast forward 6 months later, the husband passes away out of nowhere, unexpectedly. He wasn't sick, just basically dropped dead. Well, guess what? After the insurance company did their review and investigation, we were able to successfully deliver $1 million benefit to the wife during one of the most difficult times in her life, when she was trying to figure out how to keep their home, try to keep the children together, and just try to hold everything together. We were able to show her the love that was prepared for 6 months early, just 6 months. It wasn't 6 years. It wasn't 60 years. It was 6 months where they were able to now still feel not just the energetic presence of our loved ones, because we all feel our loved ones when they transition. We feel them in our spirit. We hear their voices. Sometimes we smell them. We touch them in our minds. But she's able to know physically through the monetary wealth that was left, for them to be able to not only live as they did before he transitioned, but to almost live better, to create a whole different trajectory for their families. And that's just one story, right? Ladies, you want to chime in with a story?
Well, I just want to ask a question first.
Mm-hmm.
So the couple was both under 40, right?
Mm-hmm. They were they were 40. They were
40.
about,
okay.
Right.
And they had 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you talk to someone that you love about getting $1 million policy on them? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There was, in the past, we thought, hey, we don't want to do that, but this helped their family. Can you imagine today?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the kids were able to go to the best college. That's love.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
love.
buy a house.
That's love.
Or even the house they were in, pay the house off, or do something different. But that's what this episode is all about. Making sure your loved ones are taken care of. And that's what I just want to say 40 years old, husband passes away. It happens, and it happens every day.
Yeah. And the love part that you're saying is is that they sat down together and
Mhm.
both got the $1 million policies because they looked at each other and said, if I weren't here, I want you to be okay. And I want the kids to be better than okay. And that's the conversation I think we miss, you know. And it's not all about the death benefit, right? Because later on, we're going to talk about some other types of stories of clients, but it's saying, you know what, whether I'm here or not, I'm going to put a couple dollars aside into this program so that no matter what, you are taken care of. That to me is the love, is making sure that whether I'm here or not, you're taken care of. And how many people, and it's not to say that people who didn't do it didn't love you, they didn't know how to show you love this way, if that makes sense.
I really think that it's amazing, and what is more amazing is the fact that this was one of our clients, that is
Mhm.
it's somebody that we can feel proud that we were able to help. And tell me if that's not love of community.
Yes.
Right.
Tell me if that's not love of community. And this particular family, was a black family.
I did
Were
leave
very
that part out. They are a black family.
Was a black family,
Hmm.
and or is a black family, and the dad just died 6 months later. And matter of fact, I'm not even sure if it was 6 months. I think it was a
Yeah, I
little
don't even
bit.
think that was the.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, I
don't.
just added
Yeah,
the 6 months.
I
I
think
don't
it
think
was a
it was
little
that
less than. Yeah, I think it was a little less than 6 months. But here is the thing, right?
long. Hmm.
And Leah kind of alluded to it a little bit. We never want to have these conversations, right? And we also want to get people off the hook, like, okay, it doesn't really mean that you didn't love them if you didn't do it. Well, you know what? I might take a different approach. It might mean that if you knew, and that's the reason why we are here having these conversations, because for so long, we have been conditioned to think of life insurance as a death benefit of 30 or $40,000, $50,000 the most. You know, we weren't ever, we didn't ever really think and understand. We're talking about replacing, when someone passes, we're talking about replacing someone's income that that family expected for life. Like, you understand? So when that person dies, not only does their income die,
Hmm.
that family's goals, that family's expectations, that family, everything that family had, the family's plans, they also die.
Yeah.
And so this conversation we definitely need to have. Good night, Auntie. This conversation we definitely need to have, to make sure that people understand that this is really another part of love. And I'm going to tell you, uh, I made a post earlier, which was from one of our carriers, and it's had the little hard candy on it. And I've decided that's going to be the new way that people should propose now. Instead of "Will you marry me?" "Will you be my beneficiary?"
Yes, I saw that earlier too. Like, will you be my
"Will
beneficiary?
you be my beneficiary? Will
Aw.
you retire with me? Because I'm planning for it for you. Will
Right.
you?" I mean, isn't that? I mean, that just kind of it is really about love. It
Yeah.
is really about love, when you start to think about it and look at it this way.
Yeah.
And I am super happy that I was with an agency that was able to do that to one of the families in our community, so that and for us, when we're doing it, we're talking about future. This is now, this is real for
Now,
that family.
this was
This is
this was
real
a
for
month ago. This happened a
right,
month ago,
for
right?
that family, right? So that's an awesome story. um Saran, thanks for sharing that. And although we're talking about life change and money in that particular situation, how about, even if it isn't life changing, but because and I'm sure we're going to cover a little bit about that today, about really who needs insurance, right?
Right.
But what if, how about I myself, I had a client where they kept putting it off. I had several clients like this, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And at least two or three were in my own family. And I can't say who they are because people are listening. They're going to know who I'm talking about. I wasn't going to say it anyway, but they may even know just because, whatever. So I'm saying is, don't put off. We always think of with life insurance, we always think about um, we can do it a little bit later. We have time.
Mm-hmm.
And in my situation with at least two of my family members, they called me and spoke with me several times and say, we've got to get this done, but let's do it next week. Let's do it next week. Let's do it next week. And in both situations, my family member died without us having um, that appointment. And so that's on the other side, um, where now the family was left in a lurch, right? Because they put that off. So on the other side of that story, don't put off this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
This conversation is one that we need to have now.
Absolutely. And recently, so there was a holiday recently,
Mm-hmm.
which was Valentine's Day. Um, and when I look, you check all the posts and you see all these people posting, they get shoes, they go out to dinner, they put a lot of effort into this holiday. Well, let's put effort. And I'm not being negative and I'm not trying to tell people what to do. But if you are spending a lot of money on things, make sure you have a life insurance policy somewhere for your family. That person that you love. If something happens to you, remember the income goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Everything goes away. Even if you're older, an older couple. Now, a lot of us wait till we're in our late, let's say, 50s or 60s to think about life insurance. It does cost a little more, but you can still get it.
Costs
And
a
what we
lot
want,
more.
it does. It does. I'm
It costs
quoting
a lot
several
more.
people. I'm quoting several people that want to take care of their families, but the cost is it's different than last year when I quoted the person because they're a year older. So we want to make sure when you sit down, when you get married, when you get engaged, let's talk about finances. Okay, we're going to get this $1 million policy. And we don't talk about $1 million, just like Carmen said. We talk about what? 20, 30, 40, $50,000. What's that going to do for us? What will $50,000 do for your family if you are just starting out and you have small children? It's not going to go far at all.
Mm-hmm.
At all.
So let's see this. So what kind of, you said earlier when we checked in, you said you had some stories too, like Carmen's story where the person didn't get it. So tell me a little bit about that, and then I have some more stories of people who did get it.
Yes, I have a client that and it breaks my heart. It's like I should be more diligent when talking to the clients and making them get something. And they were healthy, no, I mean no health problems at all. And then all of a sudden you go to the doctor's office, you take a physical, and they find something major going on inside of your body.
Mm-hmm.
That person, now I couldn't get them life insurance. They can't get it. And if they do, they have to last 2 years, but their prognosis is very limited
Mm-hmm.
any day now.
Yeah.
So we have to think about when we're sitting with our clients that it's going to be very sad for the family because this person has children, grandchildren, a home, a spouse, bills, cars, things like that. Now, what's the spouse supposed to do? And this is what breaks my heart.
Right.
That breaks my heart. And I can say personally, I've lost, a husband. I had life insurance on my husband. However, it wasn't the huge amount because I wasn't taught to get large amounts of insurance. And at the time when I got the insurance, the person was already sick. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
couldn't get a huge amount. I'm just it's not a game that we play with our lives. We always say, well, we'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, tomorrow. But tomorrow is not promised us.
Right.
It's
Right.
not. And it sounds like we're being, this is a sad kind of a episode, but it's not, because this is the month of love, right? If we love our family members, let's talk about it. Let's bring the conversation to the family and
Right.
talk about it.
Well, let me jump in here. So, one of the things I hear a lot when I talk to clients, and I got another story for you because I got
Oh,
stories,
a good one.
is, we are all moms and grandmoms because we talk to the ladies a lot. So, ladies, moms and grandmoms. Now, dads and granddads, we're not leaving you out, but this conversation is for the ladies. You can listen though. But we all making sure that our kids and our grandkids have everything we didn't have. And so one of the things that I often talk to my moms and grandmoms about is making sure that those kids also have the benefit of becoming a beneficiary if and when the time comes, because we are guaranteed two things: death and taxes. Now we can help you with taxes, but I can't help you get out of the death, right? And so making sure that, and it's great to do all the niceties, the stuff, right, for our kids, but doing the big love is being able to say, when I'm not here anymore, you're okay. I got you, right? And so here's another story of I got you. Um, there was a family, and one of the family member didn't have any kids or anything like that, but they made sure that they had life insurance and they were able to leave money to their siblings and to
Oh,
their parents when they transitioned, because they transitioned a little bit early. And but it was able to, one of the things, and when I talked to the clients, um beneficiaries, one of the things they said was that allowed them time to grieve. It bought them time to grieve in their own way. They were able to do a certain amount of things like travel, not stress out about work so much, and things like that. And that's where the love comes in, because making sure that your loved one doesn't have the stress of trying to bustle back in the office after 5 days, you know, and having things set up, for them to be able to take care of themselves, right? And that's just another store example of that. And this is, and I gotta throw this in here. This is for you ladies, for my married ladies, right? I'm so 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 happy that you found the one. I'm waiting. I'm looking. I'm gonna go outside tomorrow, see if he's outside.
you going outside?
But you found the one. You got married. You a fiance now, or whatever your situation is. Some people just decide to live together long term. Whatever your thing is, and you have your one, right? Statistically, ladies, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, your forever means that that person may transition before you. Make sure that your forever person loves you enough to make sure you're taken care of in the later years of your life, when you don't have the physical or mental ability to go back to work full time just to take care of yourself, right? And that's one of the things that, we really need to think about. And y'all know I talk about my friend Dora all the time. She was my sorority sister. She was 94 when she passed away in 1990. We became BFFs when she was 89. How about that? Right?
94.
And she told me all about her life. And the cool thing about her, she would say, you're one of my good friends. And I'm like, well, where are your other friends? She said, my friends are dead. And and she said it in such a funny way that you would laugh, like, but are you okay? Like, my condolences. Well, she meant it like, no, my friends are dead and you're my buddy, so we're hanging out. But one of the things that she taught me and she showed me was that, you know, she was able to retire in her 50s. She was able to make sure that things were together. When her husband passed away, he left her enough life insurance and assets so that she never went back to work. And
Wow.
when she passed away at 94, she lived in the creme de la creme neighborhood of senior citizens where everything was included. And when I tell you it wasn't cheap, it was not cheap. And she had everything that she needed because everything had been taken care of. Because they had planned, and she never remarried, but her husband who had passed, they made sure everything was in place for her to live another almost 40 years without him. And
Wow.
that, my friend, is love. And she had two beautiful kids, and she has a whole group of beautiful grandchildren. And those are the things that really we don't realize that that's the type of love we need because we don't need it right now. Like right now, we're good. I posted a picture, or I don't know if I posted it or if I texted it, but a picture of like the Valentine's chocolate with some hot wings in it because I don't need any chocolate, but I do like hot wings. Right? But we think Valentine's and we think stuff, but really, could you get me some life insurance? And would you say, make me your beneficiary to show me your love? But that's the thing, right? And we're not saying it in a weird kind of beggy kind of way, but we are in a family together. We're in a family unit together, making sure that we leave things in place in transition, and so that no one has to be stressed at all, and to really just create a place of safety and love and financial security instead of the reverse. And I know we talk about this all the time, that GoFundMe is not the way to go. But the thing to really think about is that 90% of those GoFundMes never reach their goal. And then when whatever money is in there, you end up having to pay a fee to get it out. And then it could be considered income depending on who set it up, how they set it up, and how they took it out. So there's a lot of different catches. But the thing is, and I forgot to mention this in the first story, that was $1 million non-taxable money.
That's right.
I missed that part. So it
Tax
wasn't $1
free.
million and then we're going to take 40% tax off. No, it was $1 million without tax. This is better than the lottery. I'm just saying, we all go buying lottery tickets and doing all that. And I ain't against the lottery because I would like to win. I mean, there was a guy that just won $2 billion in California.
Yes.
But I hope he got security. But the thing is that you could create your own lottery for your family and set it up so that every generation is getting $1 million transferred whenever someone leaves this earthly plane and leaves this earthly body and goes into the heavens. So this is how you show your love with life insurance.
And you know what I'd like to say about that, like you were saying that um, around Valentine's, we give stuff and things like that, right? They're people who wholeheartedly love their family, and and they want to make sure that they are able to go to work so that the mortgage is paid, the children never have to worry about anything, the expenses are all taken care of, they can go on vacations, they can do all these things. But a lot of times they don't think about future because they think they're always going to be there to be able, as long as they're matter of fact, I've heard people say that as long as I'm alive, my children will not go without.
I've
And
heard that.
that's and that right there, when you say that, you need to think, but
What happens when you're not
when I'm
alive?
not alive? What happens when I'm not alive? And not only that, what happens when you are incapacitated? You are alive, but now you're looking at that family, looking at your children suffer, looking at your wife having to um, take off from work to take care of you and in jeopardy of losing her job in
Mm-hmm.
order to take care of you, and it's running around with trying to be that person that transport the kids in the afternoon. Kids, a lot of times, no matter what is going on, we try to maintain normalcy for our children.
Yeah.
We try to make sure that our children is not totally affected by
Right.
what else ever is going on.
Right.
So we try to make sure the kids still get to go to their after school activities, even though mom or dad is at home lying there unable to work, unable to perform just activities like eating and bathing and dressing and moving from one chair to a next and things like that. We still try to make sure that that's normal for the kids. What we are trying to get you to understand is, yes, we know you're doing it. We know you're there for your kids. We want you to think about, God forbid you weren't able to do it. What takes the place of that, right? And love is life insurance. Love is living benefits. Love is providing for if you are not there, and that's what that life insurance policy. We should read that poem. That's what that life insurance policy does. It's there under you. Should something happen to you, it still holds up whatever you were holding up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I love
So
that.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know what? I do have one story of the person not getting it. And this happened last year.
Oh.
It's a couple. And I had talked to the wife and gone through everything. And then the husband comes in. And so we're talking to him. And he said, I'm not getting anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm not spending any money on this policy.
Mm.
And the wife was just kind of like, and we were on Zoom. The wife was looking at me like, I'm so embarrassed. Because she was ready to go. She was gung ho. She was like, I'm naming, I'm doing the beneficiary, whatever. I said, well, we got to do something for your husband. And that's one of the reasons that I try to do appointments with couples together. I want y'all to start together because I don't want to do it in the middle because it just gets crazy. And he was like, no. And I lie to you not, a month later, he fell down the steps and is no longer able to work. I lie to you not, I promise you. And I said, what?
So he's still alive.
He's still alive, but he's
But
working.
wow. And this also happened with me where it was a husband and a wife, and he was right there, and he said, I'm not paying my money for life insurance. I'm not going to pay that. And he said, actually, I'm going to be living at least another 10 years. So I'm not going to pay money for life insurance. And I was there in the room, not even on Zoom. And she says, so what if something happens to you? Just gonna leave me here with the expense of burying you? And she was like, I'm gonna pay for it. And he said, so you pay for it. I don't care. I'll sign anything, but you pay for it. Do you know that she paid for it?
oh, wow.
And she paid for what she could have afforded because she could have gotten more, but she looked at her budget and that's all that she could afford. And she did pay for it. And he died a little less than 2 years later.
Oh,
My
wow.
gosh.
And she said to me, I'm so happy that you wrote me this policy because I would have to worry with so much more. It could have been more, but it at least helped,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I was glad that she was able to get it. That notion that we have, oh, somebody's profiting from life insurance and stuff like that. You
Mm-hmm.
profiting off of the person's death. Well, guess what? He would have still been dead. The bills to bury him and do everything would have still been there, and she would have been begging, borrowing, and doing whatever it was in order to bury them because he's still dead.
Yeah.
And
Listen,
why?
I don't be out in the street doing something strange for some change.
You know what I mean? But why is it? And I don't know, y'all chime in. In our community, we're always negative when it comes to, oh, I don't want to profit off of the person's death. So
I
you
don't
just
know.
rather to suffer more
Yeah, I don't
because
know.
the
I don't know
person has
why we
died,
do that.
right? I don't
Yeah.
understand why either. And I think it's part of this this brainwashing that has been going on for so long, right?
Mm.
Which is another reason, if you love those children, if you love those children, make sure that those children are also insured. Not
Yeah.
only if the child dies, that would be the worst thing to happen. But even if the worst thing happened, you didn't have to go ask somebody else
That's
for
right.
2 cents to bury your child. Or you didn't have to come on here and say, this is what gets me. Please help me give him the funeral he deserved, right? And so, but if you love those children, the reasons, other reasons other than that person dying for getting life insurance is if the child's health changed. I spoke with a family member, what you call it, in-law family member, like my husband's family, not very close, like not sisters or whatever. But this lady, when I was talking to her about making sure that her children were insured, she said, I didn't know, because she had already had some insurance, and her husband.
Mhm.
And she had two 20 something year olds. And I said, make sure those children are insured. And she was like, yes, I want to do that. And I explained how she can do that. And I said, but what about your son? And she said, you could put insurance on children. And I said, yes, you can insure him. And I explained to her how it could be used for him, if the type of policy we set up where we're actually saving for his future. We're saving where he can use it for college funding. We're saving where he can use it for starting a business. We're saving it where he can use it for getting married. We're saving for using it where
Mhm.
he can use it for retirement. And she's like, yes, this is great. But he was diagnosed with insulin dependent diabetes
Oh wow.
Wow. As a child, as a baby, as a child.
a few months before I spoke with her.
Oh
Oh.
wow.
And she said that the person who had sold her insurance before never brought it up that a child could be insured. So if that child, if she had known that and she had insured that child, his insurability would now be protected. Now, it is very hard. If you have an insulin dependent child, go try to get insurance on that child and see what happens. It's very hard. People do not even want to give you life insurance if you have diabetes before the age of 50.
Yeah. I was
And
gonna say it's hard to get it in if you're 50 and you have it.
right,
Once you
right,
add once you add diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol to the mix, it becomes more challenging. Now, can you still get insurance? Yeah, for the
yeah,
most part, you probably can get some, but it gets a little bit more challenging. It puts a little bit more work on, the financial professional helping you, but you can, get it. But the idea is to get those things while you're young and healthy.
right.
And
And
so
this,
here's a love story too. Here's another love story. So speaking with a client, I don't know, what is this, a love story? Super single, super young, super spunky. And we put together something where right now she just started a plan where she'll be a millionaire by the time she's 60, just for her retirement, not including anything else that she's going to do. And so she's showing herself love because she says she doesn't want to be dependent on anyone and she wants to be prepared. She's like, well, you know what? If Mr. Right or Mr. Right now comes, I'm already taken care of. We can just be together and then not be about him taking care of me or me taking care of him, but we're just
Right.
getting together and showing each other love and showing up for each other.
that I mean, and that's great. I love that. I do love that. Showing myself love, right? And you know what's great about that though? When you said that you spoke to her and you set up a plan where she can be a millionaire by the time she's age 60. What I love about that is that you tell us when you want to be a millionaire and we tell you what to do.
Right,
So we create millionaires.
right.
You
And
just
when
got to
she
tell us.
said it, I showed her. She said, okay, what do I got to do this soon? I said, we might not have to adjust. This is what we can do. And she was like, all right, well, I like it. Let's do it.
Yes, yes. So that's awesome. Showing ourselves love. That is super awesome.
Got
That is
to.
super
We
awesome.
missed the mark so much, right? And so, we told a couple of stories about, showing love for our family by setting things up. We told a couple stories where we kind of missed the mark, but some people missed the mark and didn't quite hit the nail on the head. But the other thing is, now that I've thrown the show yourself some love, and we did a deep dive on the amazing living benefits that are available. Show yourself some love by making sure you have access to those living benefits so that if anything comes out of the weeds or comes out of the woodworks, you got what you need and you don't have to worry about your income being protected
Say it
or
how you say it, Saran. If anything jumps up
jump
on
up
you.
on you, just in case anything jump up on you, then everything is taken care of because life is out here lifing. It's just doing stuff, right? We're
It
out
is
here
definitely.
we're out here just being we're out here in our full spiritual selves in these human bodies, and these human bodies are very fragile, and we got to plan and protect them. You could stub your toe and it could be an issue. Did you just kick us off? Oh. Oh, did you just kick me off the video? I was in the middle of a sentence. You can stub your toe and it can hurt for weeks, right? Fragile. These human bodies are fragile. But
Mhm.
just actually doing it and showing yourself love, showing your family the love, showing your grandkids the love, and your great grandkids if you're lucky,
Yes.
Yeah.
putting some things into place where you can show your love. And you don't have to walk around and ask somebody, will you be my beneficiary? You can surprise them. They don't have to have any idea, right? And that's
Especially grandparents.
and that's
Especially,
especially the grandpa, and that's even better, right? Because
yeah.
what kind of surprise would you? Oh my God, how would you feel? Okay, Carmen and Leah, go with me. How would
Okay.
you feel if someone in your family, either distant or close, that you had no idea, cared about you, thought about you, whatever, you get to call or you open up your mail and you're like, is this a beneficiary check?
Man.
And you're like, oh my God, they thought about me?
Yeah.
Right.
That is such a it's probably one of the most humbling and life-changing things that can happen.
Is that what's his name?
Paul,
Paul.
it's one of the most humbling and life-changing things that can happen. Someone's put my trash out, so I just gotta go guard the door.
So
Yeah,
you
it
know
is
what
very
though?
humble.
We have talked about showing love to your grandchildren or great grandchildren. We've talked about showing love to your spouse, showing love to your parents, right? Sometimes we have to re-engineer backward, right? So yes, our parents did not get the life insurance or didn't get the things that they need, but now you adult children can come together, or adult child, whatever, if it's just one, and get the life insurance on the parent. It's doing a couple of things. One is something were to happen that and you were the one that were going to be dependent on it. You're prepared for the inevitable because no one gets out of life alive. But now you can also set that up, especially if you have a pretty healthy parent, a pretty healthy 75-year-old, a pretty healthy 60 something year old. You can now set up for future generations, and you purchase that, showing the love for one generation backward and and a generation in the future. But not only that, how about if you have loved your church or a nonprofit organization, and you've always wanted to give something to that church or that nonprofit organization, but you weren't able to do what you want to do, but you really want to leave a legacy? There are policies that we can put you in that will allow you to really bless that nonprofit organization and or that church without it even affecting the benefits that would go to your family. Now you can leave a legacy of love for your nonprofit organization, your church, using life insurance.
Your
Life
university.
insurance, a university, whatever nonprofit. Life insurance is really love insurance. And there are so many ways that we can show our love using life insurance.
Yes.
Lots of ways,
The
you
Paul's
know.
quiet now, so I'm back.
He's just excited.
He's guarding the door. I'm under full protection. Don't stop by here.
Oh wow, good, good. You know what I was thinking about is when we watch the news. So I stopped kind of watching the news in the morning, because there's always a major car accident, or there's just recently people have been falling off of cliffs. They're taking these selfies, and you know how they're doing. They're just falling. I mean, I see it all day long on the news. So
This is
just
a
think
California thing.
I don't know what it is. They're out on
I
a
don't watch
mountain and they're doing, and people want to go out and see things, but then they want to take a selfie, and then they're too close to the edge of the thing. And
I'm
I'm thinking,
sorry
like,
for laughing.
I don't know. They die for a selfie. But and the first thing comes to my mind, goodness, I wonder if they had some life insurance.
Right. Right.
That's the first thing comes to my mind. And a lot of
Right.
these, I heard, and I'm repeating this. A famous person passed away recently, and they're fighting over her estate. Who, because she had a trust and all this. But there was I'm trying to. It was several $1 million life insurance policy on her life.
Oh, I can tell you exactly. You talking about Lisa Presley.
That's what I'm
She
talking
had
about.
$4 million in debt, and she had $35 million
That was a life
in
insurance.
life insurance, which will transfer tax-free
Yes,
to her heirs.
that's
And
right.
they
But you
all
know what
fighting,
though?
and they all fight the trust. I think her mother is fighting because her mother
Yes,
was
she's
being
fighting that trust.
paid through the Graceland, or whatever it's called, and she wasn't included. And Lisa Presley never told her. She removed her from the estate plan,
Yeah.
so she's fighting it. Which I don't think I don't have to tell you. Don't have to tell anybody that they were added or removed to anything,
Nope, you don't.
unless you had a written agreement regarding that. But otherwise, you don't have to tell anybody anything about anything for your
And
estate.
that's why that trust is another way to protect the ones you love and the things that you have, because now you can speak from the grave. But you know what is important about the Lisa Presley story? Everyone focused on the fact that this woman had $4 million in debt.
They missed the whole $35 million
in
in
debt.
life insurance.
She had $35 million in life insurance.
When you look at
And
the
you talk about
articles,
$4
$4
million
million
in debt.
in debt is in bold. And
Right.
then in the little line, 35 million in life insurance. They
Right.
want you to focus on the negative. This is why I don't watch the news, because they're supposed to say she had $35 million in life
Yeah,
insurance.
call the life
That's what
insurance
the
agent
focus should
now.
have been.
So
She had
that people
35 million in life insurance. Get you some.
right. So people could start thinking, how could I get $35 million in life insurance?
All
And you
people
know,
saw
I-
was debt.
you know what? I think that I'm not sure if we mentioned it on this show earlier, because I think Saran, you said we haven't been together this year, but I think we have. I think we already did one with all of us. So
No, we didn't.
we did it. It was just me and Aaliyah.
It was just me and you.
But me and Aaliyah did one too.
Well, I wasn't there.
I can't believe this. I thought it was all of us, but the fact that Lisa Presley had $35 million in life insurance. What I want to share is one of the companies that we represent actually issued a policy for one person for $100 million in life insurance, and that company did it without using reinsurers to not reinsurers, using other insurance companies to share that thing, because every single insurance company typically has some reinsuring and whatever, but they were able to take that on by themselves. But imagine that, $100 million on one individual. So exactly why the wealthy people are buying life insurance and you're not.
Well, I mean,
I just want to know.
You made a post. You and Lena, one of our colleagues, made the post. I meant to repost it too, but you said Rihanna insured her legs. Somebody
Yes,
insured their arms, and you won't even let somebody insure your whole body or something like that.
your whole life. This person got their eyes, their arms, their legs. Tina,
Oh, and you said Dolly Parton insured her girls.
Yeah.
and Tina had her legs insured. That was the biggest insurance with Life of London. That was years ago. We knew that she had her legs insured. Now these people, and someone actually, I'm not sure if it was on my post or somebody else's post. Someone actually said, "That's stupid. Why would they insure that part?" And I think I commented, because that is what brings them their money. That's what
Right.
brings them
It's
their
their income producing
So
asset.
exactly. So they're protecting that income producing asset. You are the income producing asset. You need to protect you. So
Right.
we're just asking to protect your
Protect
life.
yourself because you the income producing asset.
Right.
Oh,
Angie Dickinson.
Aunt Lori is saying Angie Dixon used to have her legs insured. She's my auntie, but she's our auntie now.
Yes, 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 yes.
I remember
Definitely.
Angie Dickinson.
Yeah, so but those are the things. Anyway, we're here to just tell you how you can show love and appreciation and show yourself love first by making sure that you have, some things in place. Protect yourself. Protect your income producing asset, whether it be your legs, your hands, your arms, your ears, or your whole body. You gotta have something.
You,
Um,
there was a meme I posted a long time ago where this lady and her husband or whatever, he was bringing her flowers and she had the flowers and she was hitting him saying, "I
I
told you
want life insurance.
I want life insurance."
I have that. It popped up in my phone today. But that's one of the things that we really, again, we talk about all kinds of financial stuff. You can go back through our archive. We'd love for you to go back and watch some of our videos. Hit like, share, leave a comment for us. And, we talk about budgeting, investing, and, different types of insurance, wills and estates. We have so much rich content for you that is important for you to really go, and it's not just about looking at it and seeing that the information is there. It's more about getting off of your duff and
Yes.
taking action, because it's not about what you hear and learn. It's about what you process and take action on. Right. And so I posted it here. You could book an appointment at millionaireladiesmob.com with any one of the three of us, any one of us that you feel like you connect with energetically over the virtual screen. Book some time to get some things in order for yourself, because at the end of the day, we're just here to make sure that you're happy, that you're protected, that your loved ones are protected, and that you can have joy in moving about the world the best way you know how, without having the stress of what's going to happen to my family if I'm not here anymore. And
Right.
that, to me, my friend, is a level of peace of mind that I know I enjoy, and I know Carmen enjoys, and I know Aaliyah enjoys, and I know all my clients enjoy, and I know all their clients enjoy, and I know the clients of everyone who is affiliated with our agency enjoys. But why we want you to enjoy that feeling as well, of knowing that things are going to be taken care of, even when you can't take care of them, either by physically not being here or being physically unable to do it.
Ah, yes, definitely. And I want to say congratulations to you, boss lady, for bringing in so much other people to help us. And if you guys are out there and you want to uh, do what we do, Saran is the boss recruiter of the month
Wow.
of January. She was the boss recruiter of
Really?
January. Yes, she was. And so feel free to give us a call to join this team. That's what we want to do. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. I'm just trying to find people who want to help people. My passion is for helping people. And when I realized that helping people wasn't just giving out school supplies or giving them food, but giving them financial literacy and giving them a way to do it for themselves. That changed the game for me. And not that those things aren't important to me anymore, but now I know I'm not going to just give you these things that you need. I'm going to give you the education you need to go get it for yourself. And so if I can train someone else to do that, that I'm really about, because now I've taken my efforts and I'm able to multiply it.
That's super
That's
awesome. That is super awesome. And I'm going to tell you, over the last month, one of the things that has been getting me, as I get approvals on these young men and young women, and every time another policy comes through approved, my heart sings, and the reason for that is because I know that not only is that family protected and they can now enjoy that peace of mind, but that is future income that I'm putting into my community. And I also understand, we all talk about the wealth gap and how much wider it keeps getting. We talk about by 2050 that Black people, our money is going to be gone, our wealth is going to be gone, we won't have anything specifically because of student loan debt and things like that. But what I am doing right now is doing something about that wealth gap, because every single client I put that I talk to, I try to make sure that the minimum amount of insurance that I'm putting on them is $250,000.
wow.
And so if you are listening, connect, life insurance. I mean, something is better than nothing, but having 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 of life insurance at your job that only pays you if you die is not the way to go. I
Mhm.
want to continue to insure people. I want to continue to make sure that people are protected. And that's how I show love to my community.
That,
And so that's what life insurance is, love insurance about
that
for me.
that's wonderful. And Carmen, you said it, because we are thinking about loving our family members and just the people that we love. Even though you have those benefits at work, that something, if you get laid off, there are tons of people laid off. A lot of those policies, and I've checked them, have clauses that you have to be underwritten, or you have to sign a statement of good health to keep them. Some of them do. But you know what? Because it's the month of love, why not reach out to us? Talk about getting something and have that conversation with your spouse, with your significant other. Look at your children and grandparents. It's okay. You can put insurance on your grandkids, and we encourage you to do that. That's helping them in their life, and that's what
Yeah.
we just encourage you to, love your family. But when you love them, make sure that you are insured and they are insured also.
Oh yeah.
And we actually have some products that would allow you to put that on your grandchild for your grandchild's benefit without even talking to the parent. So
Oh wow.
if you have, now some of them, if we're talking about big whatever, if you have um sometimes the child, they don't want to hear it, and you're like, well, I want to protect my grandbaby, I want to start something for my grandchild that they can possibly take over when I am gone. And that's something that we can do. Contact us for that. Show your love to those grandbabies and great grandbabies. And many times you can put several of them on one policy and they still will be issued their own specific policies.
Yeah.
So that's something else for you to do.
I love it. Well, we're at our time. It's 9:28. So you see here, you can join our team at millionaireladiesmob.com. You can book an appointment at millionaireladiesmob.com. But the best thing to do is, again, take action. I know we saw several of you watching live. We're so thankful for you coming through live. For all of you watching the replay, please leave your comments and type replay. We do read the comments and we do reply. But we're really excited to be here every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. talking to you, having conversations with one another, and having conversations with the community so that we can bring real change in a real way that matters most. So, with that, we will bid you adieu and we will see you next week.
Bye bye.